Well, hello everybody and welcome. Welcome to my winter Yukon adventure. I have been here at a friend's place for a couple of days. We've just walked for quite a while and I can feel my skin's kind of frozen. It's kind of an odd feeling. It's stiff. Anyway, it's only about -6 or 7, so it's not really that cold. It's actually quite perfect. We've just had a gorgeous walk through the forest overlooking a beautiful sunrise area. It's probably about 12 o'clock noon, and the sun was coming up around 11. So, yeah, it's pretty different. You get up at 8 o'clock and it's pitch black. But last night we saw a little bit of the aurora. It was quite a white light. It wasn't green or pink or red, but it was there. And my friend saw it and woke me up at about 5 o'clock. So it's been an early start to the day today. So I'm going to share with you what I can over the next few days as I head off to the lodge where I'm going to be doing some fun activities. And I'm hoping to be able to share some of that with you. My friends dropped me off at the Muktuk Adventure Lodge, which I had signed up to come and visit for 3 days. I was really excited to be here. It certainly is a place for those who love dogs. Anyone who comes to the door is greeted with the door greeting dogs, which are always eager for lots of loves and pats. I did a nice tour of the lodge itself and found it to be incredibly comfortable. I then went up and checked out my bedroom, which was a wonderful surprise. It was so comfortable. I had a desk up there to work on, and I was very, very happy there. Down in the bathroom, I found a brilliantly decorated bathroom and absolutely spotlessly clean. The next morning, we were driven to meet our snowmobile and ice fishing guide. She had the patience of Job, I've got to tell you. She helped me to get going on the snowmobile. It was a bit of a halting start, but she was just terrific. I'd been pretty nervous about driving a big machine like that. I didn't want to hurt myself, didn't want to hurt the machine. And with her help and guidance, I ended up having a very, very fun day. While we were doing some practice runs, a moose came into the field. It was such a surprise that it took us all back, but we made some decisions to avoid the moose and give the moose lots of space so that he or she could just carry on its way safely. Seeing that moose was a real treat for all of us. We stopped to examine some moose tracks through the snow and discovered some snowshoe hare tracks, which also crossed paths there. Once we had all built up a little degree of snowmobile skills and felt confident enough to get going, we headed off out to the lake where we were going to do some ice fishing. It was aptly named Fish Lake. We were each given a chair and a little short ice fishing rod and some bait, and we set to work trying to catch a little trout. Our guide used the auger to put some holes in for us, and then we got into the serious business of trying to catch a trout. It's a challenge to stay warm out there, I discovered. It's the hardest part of the day. And then suddenly, our guide actually caught the very first rainbow trout while she was being a guide. She was so excited and so thrilled, and she shared it all with us. She was a very busy young lady, and she made us all hot chocolate with maple syrup and put some smokies on the barbecue and also cooked up the trout that she caught, and we all got to have a bite. The day just seemed to fly by. And on the way back, though, our guide took us up on a little bit of a detour so we could have a really good viewpoint of the area that we'd been visiting in. We stood up there and admired the views, took some photos, and even a group selfie of the wonderful people that I had the privilege to spend the few days with that I did. And then it was time to head back. What a great day. We stopped suddenly because we saw some tracks, and it turned out that it was a lynx tracks. And it's a very elusive animal, but we were happy just to see the tracks in the snow. And then off we went. If we had a safe trip back, the person I was sharing the snowmobile with and I took turns driving. We both ended the day very, very pleased with ourselves as two women in their 70s driving a snowmobile for the first time. Well, the next morning was what I had been waiting to do, and that was to try to run a dog sled. I don't know what correct terminology is, but I met my team, and I was so pleased with them all. This one is Little Hard Rock. She was such a hard worker. And then Tigger, who was a little bit of a clown. And here is Mushy Loving Barkley. And the leader of our group, Coco, who was in charge of everything and everybody. Before heading down the trail, we were issued some instructions, and the first one was be sure to hang on, because if you don't, the dogs may just very well keep going and leave you behind. The second job that we had was to try and keep the dogs running at a pace which was more a marathon pace and not a race pace. So we were instructed how to use the brake carefully so that we could just slow them down a little bit and give everybody a bit more of a relaxing trip. And the third thing that we were instructed on was how to keep the sled upright. That meant that we had to shift our weight around corners, use the brake carefully, and ensure that all of us had a really safe and fun trip. I felt I did pretty well, actually, and I did fall off once, but amazingly, my dogs stopped and waited for me with the help of the snowmobile leader. It was a super enjoyable day, and I gradually relaxed into it, and I had a tremendous amount of fun. I loved it.
Barkley, good boy. That's good dog.
This was so much fun. I can't tell you. I have been sold on dog sledding. I wish I could have kept going all day. I'm not tired. I'm exhilarated. And Jackie, our amazing guide, was so good with us. And boy, I just couldn't get enough. After a bit of a break with some lunch and a little bit of a rest, we loaded up into the bus and headed out to the Yukon Wildlife Preserve, which is a non-profit-run society, also funded by the government of the territory of Yukon.
Yeah, they thought these guys were extinct for a while, and then they found this little herd just like hiding in the boonies somewhere.
They do scientific studies so they better understand the needs of these animals. They run educational programs and they run summer camps for kids. Many of these animals have lived their whole lives here. Some arrived because they were injured or their mothers were injured and they were brought here to be rehabilitated but couldn't be released. Others are here for scientific study, and others are here to be rehabilitated and released. We couldn't visit those animals that were hopefully going to be released so that they had less and less human contact. but they are there in a whole other section of this preserve. I really felt it was very worthwhile, and I learned a lot. I very much enjoyed the opportunity to be able to see some of these animals up close, and they certainly seemed incredibly well cared for. They've all been placed in habitats within that 350 acres, which reflected their actual normal habitat, and they all seemed pretty content and looked very, very healthy. Well, the following day was my last day, and as I was packing up and preparing to be taken back into Whitehorse to go to my hotel at 1 o'clock, the owner of Muktuk surprised me with a really special gift. I was very, very excited. Well, as you can tell, there's a lot of dogs barking. I've been given the opportunity to go on an extra sled ride, and right now I'm sitting in the basket. All the barking is that all the dogs want to be the ones to pull the sled. They just love working and they love running, and so anyway, I'm going to go along for the ride and maybe drive the sled a little bit at some point. We're going a different place than I went yesterday, and I'm pretty excited. And so I'm all cozied in here. So come on along. It's going to be fun. Holy dodo! We're ripping! Look at that scenery! Wow! Okay! Whole different experience! I'll say! We're out on the river! Yeah. This is amazing! Boys and girls! Good job! These dogs are just so enthusiastic and so well designed to run that if you actually have to stop for any reason, they just are so impatient. I mean, look at their faces. They're looking at us like, okay, all right, what's the problem? Let's get going. They were just amazing. Well, being down here on the river was an absolutely amazing experience, quite different than being in the forest. The dogs just were so free. They just seemed so thrilled with what they were doing. And I was thrilled and very, very grateful for this opportunity. I did get to drive the sled back, and I must say I'm kind of glad I wasn't the first out of the gate as the driver of that sled, because they were really steaming to go. Well, I have had the most wonderful time here just outside of Whitehorse in the Yukon territory of northern Canada. I've had 3 nights and 4 days of so much fun. To me, the greatest thing that's happened is that I have had the opportunity to try new things, which I was really kind of nervous about, especially the snowmobiling and then the dog sledding. But I must say that the skilled guides really made it possible for me to be successful and to have such a wonderful time and to complete these activities, which I definitely found intimidating, and felt confident, happy, and desiring to get up and do it again. You know, that's a real testament. And the amount of love and energy they put into taking care of all of these dogs is just astonishing. These dogs are loved. They are truly loved. They are all friendly. They all want to be patted. Many of them come into the lodge and live in there, especially some of the older retired dogs. And they really, really take excellent care of these animals. And they're, amazingly happy. They just have the big smiles on their faces, and they welcome perfect strangers to come up and pat them and love them. So my hat's really off, or my toque's off to them for the care that they give their animals here. I'm not being sponsored by them at all. I paid to come here. But when I see something that I feel really positive about, and I feel like I can recommend them to anybody out there. They're a really top-notch group. And it's very homey. It's very fun. The meals were great. But say the guides, the care, everybody has been professional, fun, relaxed, and made me feel, as an older woman, that I could actually run a dog team. Well, it was only 4 dogs. But 4 was plenty. I got to tell you, those dogs, I thought I was going really, really fast. And you can see in the video, I wasn't really going that fast at all. But I was having a blast. And then the snowmobiling was also fun. And I was very nervous of that big machine. And more so than the dogs. But that was fun too, because the guide was absolutely stellar. Top drawer. So there you go. So tomorrow morning, I pack up and go home. And I am looking forward to going home and seeing my own little dog, Milo. I'm sure he'll be happy to have me home. And to say nothing of Bob, I'm sure he'll be happy too. Won't you, Bob? Anyway, I will be heading home. And I have had the most fabulous week. A great big thanks to my friends who had me for the first few days, treated me like royalty, and then the people here who just have been the most amazing hosts. So thank you so much for coming along with me on my grand adventure to the Yukon in winter. And I have to tell you, if life is willing, I would love to be able to come back up here again next year. This has just been fabulous. Today it's minus 17. It's definitely chilly for a coast person like me, but they provide us with great gear, so you don't even have to bring all of your own. So anyway, thank you again for coming. It's been a wonderful time, and I hope you've enjoyed sharing in my little adventures. I didn't, walk to the Arctic Circle or mush a team of dogs to the Arctic Circle. I just went around some trails, but it's felt like I was accomplishing so much, and I saw so much. So thanks again. And I'll look forward to bringing you on my next little adventure closer to home, maybe in a tent or in the van, something a little lower key than this. Bye for now.